morning, my fellow Tottenham fans, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur with your boy Big Dave in the house, bringing you your predicted lineup as Tottenham make the short trip across London to take on West Ham, aka the Bubble Merchants, in a London derby. And I'm sure this is going to be a tasty affair. But we do have a fully fit squad to pick from, and I wonder, will Ange Postecoglou make any changes with such short turnaround between the Luton and the West Ham game tonight? So let's get into it and find out the lineup that I think Ange Postecoglou will pick to take home all 3 points and smash them Bubble enthusiasts. In goal, we will stick with the man who has played every single minute of this Premier League campaign, and that is Guglielmo Vicario. Now, West Ham are a legitimate threat from set pieces and will look to put every corner kick right into his 6-yard box and send the big men after to attack it. So Vicario will have to be brave here, come out, command his area, and hopefully come out and take out a few and help out them defenders from defensive set pieces. At right back, postman Porro retains his place after brilliant second half showing last week. After Brendan Johnson's substitution, we've seen Porro get far more advanced down that right-hand side into great crossing positions, but also in positions to shoot as well. Unlucky maybe not to have a goal on the day against Luton. And he done exactly what I asked of him before the game, which was get into great positions and affect the game going forward. At times overlapping, Johnson had a really good relationship with him down that right-hand side. However, tonight he will have to do both sides of the game very, very well. Defensively, he'll have to stay switched on. He could be up against Kudos, played left midfield against Newcastle, and he is a very, very tricky player, can really produce something out of nothing. I'd also reckon that Porro will have to stay switched on defensively from crosses from the right-hand side. I feel like West Ham will look to put them in on top of Porro and send the big man in on top of him to try and win the headers at the back post. So for me, he'll have to be brave. He'll have to go for every single cross, not allow any to drop over his head. And yes, he might get hurt at times, but hopefully the referee will give him the benefit of doubt and blow a free kick out the opposite way. But also, we will need Pedro Porro's creativity to unlock that West Ham defence, which he know will sit deep, so he will get plenty of balls in good positions, and hopefully he'll start putting in crosses from all various angles for whoever is up front. Now, at centre-back, I was maybe toying with the idea of maybe keeping Dragusin in here, but playing him on the right-hand side, more so to sort of counter West Ham's aerial threat from set pieces. However, I am going to stick with the Argentinian assassin. He is the leader across that back line, and I don't think it's a guy that Ange Postecoglou will drop very, very lightly. And because he is the leader, I do think he'll slot in. Now, he didn't really have too much to do last week. He will be a lot more busier against West Ham, I anticipate. I also think Romero will look a lot more comfortable as well in this game, knowing that his partner in crime, Van de Ven, is beside him. Remember, Van de Ven did say that he makes Romero more calm and Romero makes him more aggressive. That is sort of stepbrother stuff. It's stuff I absolutely love to hear. But with Van de Ven, there is no decision to be made here. He's absolutely crucial to Tottenham. He's played 18 Premier League games so far this Premier League campaign, and Tottenham have won 12 of them. In the 11 games that Van de Ven has missed in this Premier League campaign for Tottenham, we've only won 5 of them. So stats suggest when he plays, Tottenham are better equipped to win. I also think he has to start here purely because he has that recovery pace, and it's going to be absolutely crucial stopping Bowen from cutting inside and getting towards our goal from that right-hand side, who was on absolute fire this campaign, by the way. I believe he's also on 15 goals, very similar to Son. So Van de Ven will be crucial in nullifying that threat in behind. At left-back, definitely Udogie also keeps his place. Hasn't had the greatest of games against Luton or Fulham over the last couple of games, but I do feel like having Dragusin there, he's not comfortable on his left foot whatsoever. Does affect maybe Destiny Udogie a little bit because he doesn't have that partnership with him. But with Van de Ven back in, it should make Udogie feel a lot more comfortable, and we should see a much better performance from him here. I'd also suggest Kufal didn't look too good against Newcastle during the week, so having him and whoever I decide to pick at left wing running at Kufal could be a way of us getting in behind that West Ham defence. Now, moving into one of the most contentious spots in the starting lineup heading into this game, and that is the number 6 role at the base of midfield. Basuma, not for the first time this season, being caught very lax defensively again, and probably could have prevented that opening goal getting a bit tougher with someone like Andros Townsend, who was deemed not good enough for Tottenham over a decade ago. And Basuma is under pressure with Bentancur's cameo off the bench. He looked really good and he looked raring to go. And for me, I think it's over a month since he last started a game for Tottenham. I think he's absolutely itching to go. Many Spurs fans, I think, want to see a change in this position. And for me, I think you could see Bentancur come in for Yves Bissouma today, especially because Yves Bissouma has probably played a lot of football, tight turnaround between games. This is one of the positions where you could look to maybe freshen it up. We know how important it is to this team in terms of it dictates the tempo at what we play at, and it's also very important defensively. So I feel like a pair of fresh legs in this position could benefit us. And Bentancur will be itching to put on a display, like I said, a month since he's last started a game for Tottenham Hotspur. So he'll want to reclaim his position in this midfield. So hopefully he can put in an absolute masterclass of a performance. Now, moving on to the right side of the midfield tree. And I know many people would say this is a position where Bentancur would be best suited. However, I think it would be an absolute huge mistake to drop Papamata Starboy. West Ham will look to congest it up in the middle. It is going to be a physical battle. And away from home, you do have to earn the right to play. And I think it'll be a huge mistake if we do not play Papamata Sarr in this game. One thing that Papamata Sarr is, he is the glue that knits that midfield together. He is the engine in that engine room. He is the legs that gets around that pitch, and he turns over ball more than anyone and makes more of a nuisance of himself more than anyone in this team. For me, he is the key cog, and he has to start. If he doesn't start, the warning signs are there. Now, moving into the creative role in this midfield, and I have toyed with the idea of maybe pulling Kulusevski in here, as Maddison lacked creativity yet again against Luton Town, and he's pulling a lot of blanks since his return from injury and nowhere near his best. So I have toyed with the idea of maybe putting Kulusevski through the middle, because he has said himself that his best position is through the middle, and it's also on the left-hand side, which suits him because he is a sort of a left footer. So it'll be very interesting to see what you guys make of that in the comments. However, Maddison did look really unhappy coming off the pitch, and he is the guy that we brought in here to be chief creator. And I have a feeling that Ange Postecoglou, who brought him off early with 15 minutes to go last week, was maybe preserving him so that he'd be fully fit coming in here, but also maybe angry enough with a point to prove. And hopefully this is the game that Maddison shows up. He is the guy that we bought to unlock the door against teams that sit low block, like Luton at the weekend, like West Ham tonight. And for me, it's about time he starts delivering yet again. My patience with the guy is starting to run out, with Kulusevski breathing down his neck and maybe not as suited to the right wing as I first thought. Maybe he might up his performances, knowing that maybe there's a bit of competition. Also, Lo Celso, who came off the bench, and in fairness to the guy, despite me not wanting him to be around at Tottenham, he actually done well and had a sort of positive impact on the game. So there is people starting to breathe down his neck now, and hopefully the competition will make him rise to the occasion. Moving into the forward line, and we'll start with the right-hand side. I don't think there is any debate about this week, with Kulusevski being hauled off last week at half-time, with Ange Postecoglou citing that he kept on cutting inside way too often, and it's not what the tactical brief is, and it's not what they're working on training during the week, where he's coming inside congestion space for others to work in. And the guy who did replace him was Brennan Johnson, who had a massive impact off the bench, setting up both goals, the own goal and also Sonny's winner. Now, the big challenge for Johnson is he's already proved that he's an amazing impact player off the bench, making 6 goal contributions, more than any other player in the Premier League so far this season. Now, the big question for Johnson is, can he now have the same impact when he's chosen to start games? And I think he will get the opportunity here, and it's a huge chance for him to show that he is more than an impact sub. So let's see how he gets on. Moving on over to the left-hand side, Timo Werner, despite making a nuisance of himself, again, questions around how clinical he is in front of goal. And the guy I'm going to select at left wing is Son, and I do have legitimate reasons why. First of all, he comes into this game very, very confident off the back of last week's winner. But it's the winner that I actually want to talk to you guys about. It was Son who picked up the ball on the left-hand side of our box and drove us forward, running directly at Luton, and then followed up the play, which was laid off for him by Johnson, and dispatched the winner. West Ham will look to congest the middle of the park. It will be a very physical battle in there. You'll have to fight for space, and some will be wasted down the middle. The space for me in this game will be down the sides of West Ham, and this is where I feel we can get the best out of Sonny for this game. Imagine how devastating some would be in some of the positions that Foreigner has found himself in down that side in recent weeks. And for me, I think just to get the best out of Sonny in this game, where he can really go and impact the game, it will be running at West Ham rather than playing with his back to goal, which will happen if we play him down the middle. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below, guys. And then moving into the front line, I am going to bring back in Slick Rick Richarlison. Prue. Now, Ange has said in his pre-match press conference that Richarlison is fit and ready to go and be selected from the start if called upon. And the reason why I do think we should bring him back in is because I'm a firm believer you should get your 2 top goal scorers of the season into the side. But not only that, I do think it'll be a very physical battle. And for me, Richarlison playing with back to goal will be more effective and also a lot more stronger in terms of being able to hold up the ball and bring others into play than maybe what some would in that sort of aspect. But let's not forget, Richarlison also has a point to prove. It was Michail Antonio on that stupid podcast of his with Callum Wilson questioning Richarlison's professionalism while also mocking his finishing in front of goal. So he will come into this game with a point to prove. I know some people may say, Dave, they don't care about that. Well, look at the reaction that Callum Wilson got from Vicario after we beat Newcastle earlier on in the season 4-0 and tell me it doesn't matter. It does matter. Richarlison will come into this game with a point to prove and he will look to put them maybe jokes aside and hopefully put West Ham to the sword. And for me, I think we should start him in this game. So guys, that's my predicted lineup and my thought process behind it. Please give me your predicted lineup in the comment section below with your thought process behind it, with also your score prediction as well. But guys, I'm absolutely pumped. I am raring to go. I have my swimming goggles at the ready to protect my eyes from the soap from them bubbles. I also have my swim hat ready to go. That is the West Ham away starter pack. See you all back here for the pre-match build-up starting at 4 p.m. As always, come on, you Spurs. In the mighty Boston Goglu we trust. We never stop.